Chapter 15 Tiger and Sheep. I'll apply for the school's special scholarship for you, 30,000 yuan, and the money will be in your hands in about 2 days. Regarding the class time, the school needs to hold a meeting to discuss it, but there should be no problem. After all, you are a genius. Geniuses should have some privileges. Sheng quickly responded to Lu Xing's request. Besides, I can promise you, if you represent our Baya number 3 middle school in the city and get a ranking in the city, the school will give you another reward. During the period before the college entrance examination, if you have any material requirements, you can also ask the school. As long as it's not too much, the school can satisfy you. And I personally can also give you some help. When Sheng said this, his expression was quite formal, as if he had treated Lu Xing as an equal existence. Lu Xing could understand Sheng's thoughts after a little thought. For a talented student with a bright future like him, now is undoubtedly the best time, and it is also the time to win him over with the least price. Thank you, school. Thank you, teacher Sheng. Lu Xing expressed his gratitude, thought for a while, and added, one more thing, Mr. Sheng. I hope that my current grades and the treatment I get at school will not inform my family for the time being. I see. Sheng nodded. Regarding the sudden surge in Lu Xing's strength, warriors like them can understand it, but it's hard to say it to ordinary families. In case Lu Xing's parents find out after finding out about it and do something that will affect Lu Xing's progress in martial arts practice, this is something that no one wants to see. It's nothing, Mr. Sheng. I'll go first. Go. Sheng waved his hand and watched Lu Xing walk out of the office. A few minutes after Lu Xing left, Sheng who was sitting on the chair suddenly jumped up. The calmness on his face no longer exists, replaced by deep joy and complacency. Lu Xing came out of my Baya number 3 middle school. A first-level official warrior who is less than 18 years old, with a combat power close to 200. Before the college entrance examination, I have to hide Lu Xing as a secret weapon. When the college entrance examination starts, I will scare those people in Zhong Air again. I am excited when I think of the expressions of those guys. The headmaster must be notified of this news as soon as possible. Sheng walked out of the office with a happy face. When Lu Xing returned to the class, the actual combat class had already ended, and all the students had already returned to class. When Lu Xing walked into the class, the originally noisy classroom fell silent for an instant. Then all eyes focused on him. Shocked, amazed, curious, admiring, awe-inspiring. Lu Xing walked back to his place with a normal expression. The moment after he sat down, the originally quiet classroom gradually became noisy again. It was as if, when the tiger stepped into the flock, the whole flock fell silent. And when the tiger rested, the panicked lambs resumed their hustle and bustle. Lu Xing is that tiger. Not long after Lu Xing took his seat, he saw the pale-faced Yang Yifei limping in while being supported by someone. He noticed Lu Xing at a glance, and there was a look of resentment in his eyes. But when Lu Xing's eyes met, Yang Yifei immediately shied away to avoid it. Obviously he was scared by Lu Xing's punch in the actual combat class. Next to him, Lu Qining wanted to come up to talk to Lu Xing several times. But he didn't dare to open his mouth several times. Lu Qining looked at Lu Xing who was sitting on the seat and was flipping through a book casually, feeling a little confused for a moment. He suddenly realized that the best friend around him had become so strange and distant. Baya City, the central shopping mall. In a shop with the name Liao Tang, a tall and straight boy in a school uniform was staring at the products on the counter and browsing. The shopping guide walked up to the boy and asked politely, "Sir, what kind of tonic do you want to buy?" The boy raised his head, revealing a handsome and thin face, and shook his head. "I'll just look around and not buy." "Okay." The shopping guide lady walked aside very tactfully. The boy dressed as a student in front of her is obviously not her potential customer group. This boy was exactly Lu Xing who came to hang out after school. A scholarship was about to be awarded, and Lu Xing couldn't wait to run to the mall to plan the use of the money. It's not that he couldn't hold his breath and was thinking about how to spend it before Qian got it, but that he really wanted to increase his strength. In the past few days, with the continuous improvement of body training and breathing techniques, Sheng felt more and more the strong hunger coming from his body all the time. That is a sign of the rapid growth of qi and blood and the shortage of the system. Every inch of muscle cell in his body is yearning for the nourishment of energy. Although his father Lu Dahai bought him a tonic to take last week, it was still a drop in the bucket, and there was not much relief. If such a malnutrition state is maintained for a long time, the body may cause permanent irreversible damage, and the strength may even regress. Because martial arts practice is actually a process of constantly tapping the potential of the human body. The increased qi and blood value of a warrior is the embodiment of the human body's potential being constantly stimulated. But the potential will be consumed, and if it is not replenished in time, it will in turn harm itself. The way to supplement is to take in a lot of external energy. Through food supplements, medicine supplements, etc. After all, the energy supplement that food can provide is a small amount, and the medicinal materials that are rich in a lot of nutrients needed by the human body are the bulk. And these precious medicines are naturally worth a lot. Therefore, poor culture and rich military is not a common saying that is casually said. There are two main types of supplements on the market: external application and internal application. External application is further divided into medicated baths, smears, acupuncture and moxibustion, sticking and so on. Compared with internal tonics, external tonics are milder in nature, faster and better absorbed. However, the operation is cumbersome and the conditions are harsh, and the benefit effect will become worse and worse with the number of times of use, and the prescription needs to be changed constantly. I still choose oral supplements. Sheng has been focusing on oral tonics. However, the price of oral supplements made Sheng frown. Chapter 16: Breaking Through the Bottleneck, a New Realm of Boxing. The nourishing blood powder my father bought for me last week cost 3,000 yuan per pair. This is the most common tonic. There are also Peishua powder, Shuanggu powder, Yangyuan powder. Each price is much more expensive than Yangshua powder. The most expensive Yangyuan powder even costs 15,000 a pair, which is too exaggerated. Zhong Jinghua and Sheng promised to win him a special scholarship of Baya No. 3 middle school, 30,000 yuan. Sheng originally thought that the money was quite a lot, but now that he saw it, it was not enough at all. 30,000 yuan is only enough to buy 10 sets of Yangshua powder and 2 sets of Yangyuan powder. If Sheng had applied for a first-class scholarship of 10,000 yuan according to Sheng's original plan, he would not even be able to afford a pair of Yangyuan powder. Martial arts practice is too expensive. Only now did Sheng understand how much money he had spent behind those brilliant martial arts top students in the school, such as Yang Yifei. Children from ordinary families like him and Lu Qiming, how can they compare with others? How can they compare? In this age of martial arts, it is too difficult for a noble son to come from a poor family. Sheng also realized at the same time how heavy the burden on parents is. Qing's idea is correct. With her martial arts aptitude, if she hadn't been dragged down by a mediocre big brother like me, her achievements would indeed be much higher than now. It's as if Lu Dahai decided to provide him and Lu Qingha with 2 sets of nourishing blood powder each month. Lu family's limit: if all these 4 nourishing blood powders can be provided to Lu Qingha alone, the result will naturally be obvious. Thinking about it this way, Sheng's desire to make money became more determined. Whether it's for my own practice or for Lu Qingha's martial arts path, I should work harder. Sheng didn't look any further and walked out of the mall. The central shopping mall is quite far from the community where Sheng lives. Sheng chose to walk home instead of taking a bus. Under the daily high-intensity practice, the process of walking home like this is a good way for Sheng to relax. Go for gold today. I have recently practiced swordsmanship, and I will take you to kill. Come on, I'm afraid it's not a nursery school. How dare you look down on my swordsman? Wait, I have to show you my skills. A few high school students in school uniforms and carrying school bags were playing around, running past Sheng in groups and rushing into the nearest internet cafe. There was a ripple in Lu Xing's heart. More than a month ago, he was like these people, dawdling in school every day, and there was an internet cafe after school. Just like a fish living in the sand, blinded by the illusion and turbidity in front of him, he's muddled every day, spinning in place without direction or motivation. Now, he came out of the water with a clear mind, knowing exactly what he wanted and where the way forward was. Do you regret it? Lu Xing asked himself softly. I don't regret it. Lu Xing answered firmly with calm eyes. It seems that he has given up some happiness, but now he is undoubtedly more fulfilled and satisfied. At this time, all kinds of boxing memories suddenly flashed in Lu Xing's mind. A large number of fragmented pictures flashed across his eyes. At this moment, he seemed to grasp something. It seems like something is broken. Lu Xing's mind became extremely clear, and something new was born in his heart. Breakthrough. Lu Xing looked at his hands, feeling a little lost. He clearly felt that the boxing bottleneck he had achieved by absorbing a large amount of memory before was broken at this moment, and his understanding of boxing reached a new height. It's a state that's hard to describe. Get rid of the chaff and save the chaff, and look brand new. Now Lu Xing feels like he can perfectly master any kind of boxing technique in his mind. It is possible to use boxing techniques to make the most appropriate response in different situations. Integrate. That's probably what it means. I heard the teacher say in class before that those powerful martial arts masters will get some wonderful insights in certain environments and moods, which will make their own martial arts undergo a great transformation. Know your mind. This situation is called epiphany in martial arts. Did I just have an epiphany? Lu Xing didn't know. But that's also not important. He only knew that his strength should be improved again. If the current him fights against the previous him, the winner may be decided within a few strokes. This is the gap brought about by boxing attainments. Lu Xing had the urge to go to the Hengchuan Martial Arts Hall to do another test right now, but he held back immediately. The strength of strength will not change because of the number of tests. Strength is your own, and you won't run away because you didn't test it in time. Besides, it's quite late today. If you delay for a while, you will inevitably be questioned by your parents when you go back. Thinking about it, Lu Xing quickened his pace. I'm going back to my room. Lu Xing put down the bowl and chopsticks, greeted his family members calmly, then turned and went back to the room. What's wrong with Xiaoxing today? Is he feeling unwell? Mother Jin Yufan looked at the bowl of rice in front of Lu Xing, and said with some concern, Today I ate half a bowl of rice less than yesterday. Lu Xing shook her head speechlessly, then got up and said, Mom and Dad, I also went back to my room to exercise. Said that Lu Xing quickly ran back to his room. Perhaps because of the huge changes that happened to Lu Xing recently, Lu Xing felt an inexplicable sense of crisis in his heart, and his practice became more diligent than before. Lu Dehai patted his wife's palm, and comforted him with a smile. The child has grown up, is sensible, and knows to study hard. This is a good thing, and we don't need to worry about it. Oh, by the way, the money is for you, and I will give it back to Xiaoxing by some big bones with Qinghe and make up for it. You went to pick up casual work again. Didn't you still complain of back pain yesterday? Can your body take it? What's the matter? Just put on 2 plasters for me later. Where can I post it? Listening to the conversation of his parents in the living room, Lu Xing took a deep breath and slowly calmed down. After his qi and blood increased, his 5 senses were also greatly strengthened. Even through a door, he could still hear voices outside. A certain string in Lu Xing's heart became more and more urgent. After doing 2 sets of exercises to clear away the distracting thoughts in his mind, Lu Xing gradually fell into a dream state. Now he can easily control his brain to fall asleep in a very short time.